Tragedy strikes like a hornet or a bee. One moment you're here, gone in the next suddenly. A late night call, how can that make you feel? Two loved ones gone because of a drunk behind the wheel. Two young men lost as tragedy strikes. How can it not be safe to be out riding their bikes? Two young lives lost. It makes no sense. And the pain for their families so goddamn immense. How to come to terms with the way you feel. Throw the goddamn book at the drunk behind the wheel. I know how I'd handle it if it were up to me. I'd let him rot in jail and I'd throw away the key. Rest in peace. Sticks out for Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau. Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. It's a very sad day, last couple of days in hockey. Not to say that Johnny Gaudreau, Johnny Hockey, was my favorite player. I didn't dislike him, but this hit me really hard. I gotta say, the tragicness of it just hit me really hard. It's been a tough couple of days for me. I'm sure for a lot of people, it's nothing compared to what his family's going through. His kids, his parents. Anyway, I don't know what else to say. It's just very tragic. I love doing this show. This is not a show I wanted to do. So we'll talk about Johnny Hockey and his brother. I've got news of what happened. I can explain what happened. And then we'll move on to other things after. But we have to honor this young gentleman because it's just a tragic thing. I don't know. I don't have the words, unfortunately. All right. So if you're here and you want to talk about it, say hi in the chat and let's get going, I guess, on that. So far, let's see who's here. Hey, Guru. Rest in peace, Gaudreau brothers. Horrible situation for their family, friends, and teammates. Yeah, it's sad all around. I mean, his sister, her wedding was supposed to be yesterday. Sean Monahan, who went to Columbus to join his good friend Johnny Gaudreau, rekindle the days in Calgary, I guess, and just everybody around it. It's just so many people that this affected. Hey, Renegade Man, that asshole who was responsible for the accident was worried that he had to stay until Thursday in jail. That's the last thing he would worry about. Unfortunately, if he's got the money, he'll get out on bail until trial, I guess. But here's what I got on this. Here's the fucking asshole. Sean Higgins admittedly was had 5 or 6 beers before getting into his car, and apparently was drinking while he was driving as well. And what happened, from what I can gather, I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'll tell you what I know of it. He approached, or he was coming down the road, and there were 2 cars in front of him, and he wanted to go around them for whatever the reason. He went around on the left, and the guy that was in front of him came out also. He got mad. He went back the other way and tried to pass him on the right, and in doing so, smashed into the Gaudreau brothers. And that was the reason the guy ahead of him had pulled out a bit, was to allow space. Apparently it was a narrow shoulder, and to allow space for the 2 cyclists so they'd be safe. And then this asshole comes along and does that. It's horrible. It's horrible. I mean, drinking and driving, there's no excuse. Listen, if you drink and drive and something like that happens, you've got no excuse in defense, right? I mean, I'm 61. How many years of my life I've heard drinking and driving, no good. It's 50 years or more, maybe my whole life. This guy's got no excuse. There's no defense for him. and they should throw the book at him. All right, so here's I'll just show you what I got here. So just some things I picked up in loving memory of the two brothers. Basically the same thing here. This is the announcement by the Columbus Blue Jackets. Columbus Blue Jackets are shocked and devastated by the unimaginable tragedy. Johnny was not only a great hockey player, but more significantly, a loving husband, father, son, brother, and friend. We extend our heartfelt sympathies to his wife, Meredith, the children, Noah and Johnny, I guess Jr., his parents, their family, and friends on the sudden loss of Johnny and Matthew. I can't read the whole thing. I don't know why this is hitting me so hard, but it is, and yeah, I don't know. Cole Caulfield, apparently, I guess, idolized a bit. Johnny Hockey put out this here, always my hero, Cole Caulfield. So that's pretty nice. A hell of a hockey player. 763 games played, 243 goals, 500 assists for 743 points. So that's practically a point a game player. 7 times NHL All-Star, NHL All-Rookie Team, NHL First All-Star Team. A hell of a career. And, I mean, he wasn't done, you know. He shouldn't have been. All right, let's get back to you guys. Hey, Matt. Feel for the Gaudreau family and the family that this guy's horrible, irresponsible. I'll read that again. I feel for the Gaudreau family and the family that this guy's horrible, irresponsible decision screwed up. I mean, I don't know what else you want to say. Johnny Hockey is the definition of U.S. hockey player. Absolutely. Bong Breath says, this is so sad. The sports world lost 2 greats, his poor sister and family. Yeah, can you imagine? I'm sure. I mean, I don't know this for a fact, but I know this. The wedding, I'm sure, was postponed, obviously. I mean, it's horrible. I mean, I can't imagine, right? They go out for a bike ride. You know, okay, we'll see you after. Have a good ride. You never see them again. It's almost unimaginable. The penalty in that state is 10 years, 20 for both counts. He could get out early on good behavior. Well, this is what I've got on that. So he's a 43-year-old man, so he knows better. He's charged with 2 counts of vehicular homicide, and it'll probably be consecutive, not concurrent sentences. So that means he'll serve one after the other, not at the same time. Yeah, he's looking at 5 to 10 years each count. So it's 10 to 20 years. So I imagine the 10 is if he gets out on good behavior, 20 if he's just forget good behavior. It's like I said, throw away the key. 20 years go, 20 years after the 20 years go, oh yeah, hey, that guy there. All he deserves. Hey, Lion. Don't know that I've seen you before. Welcome to the channel. I hope his sister and the man would have become her husband today, find a way through this. And no, listen, one day they'll try again, I guess. Yeah, it goes without saying that the wedding was called off. It's unimaginable that they would have the wedding. So, unfortunately, in a way, it's had an effect on not Talking Habs, but on our other channel, Don't Puck with Media. So you wonder why? How could that be? One of our podcasts over there, the Flyers podcast, Flyer Gonna Flyera. That's Alex's podcast, and he has 2 co-hosts with him, Jamie Bascow and Dylan Robillard. Dylan was not the first, but was practically the first person to report this. at about 11 p.m. It happened around 8:30. He reported around 11:30. He got in a lot of trouble for this because it wasn't confirmed. He basically got canceled out on Twitter, lost his job writing for the Flyers magazine, and basically maybe, the career is maybe over. Subsequently, like I said, the magazine fired him, and Alex had to let him go off the podcast as well. So it's had an effect, even on us. Dylan, I don't think did he do something wrong? He reported it a little early. Is that wrong? Probably it is, yes. Today it is. In my day, that would not be wrong. He would probably get a promotion and a raise for being essentially the first person to break the story. But because of the sensitivity of it and, the wokeness of today, that he gets canceled out. I mean, he got canceled out for reporting the story accurately, if not a little early, So, anyway, sad that happened. I thought Dylan was a good guy, and I thought he had integrity too. Like, I thought he had integrity. I think he does, and I think he's getting a bad rap there. So, just to say that, I support the guy, and I wish him the best, but, it affected us as well. Just a horrible situation. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I didn't really want to have to do this. By the way, if you're wondering, I did not monetize this video, this live stream. It's not. I won't make a penny off of somebody's tragedy like that. So just in case you were wondering about me, I didn't know what to do. So I'm trying to do this as tasteful as possible, even though it's such a horrible thing. But we'll get into some other things after. But if you have anything you want to say about it, if you want to talk about it, feel free in the comments to let us know how you feel. Now, as far as Johnny Hockey, like I said, I wasn't a particular Johnny Hockey fan, but obviously also I didn't dislike the guy in any way. Thought he was a great player. Didn't like playing against, our team playing against him. He was always, if I'm correct, he was usually pretty good against Montreal. This kid was good. I mean, I don't know. It's so sad that not only if it happened to anybody, right? Even if these two people were not Johnny and Matthew, still really sad, right? It just two young men cut down in the prime of their lives, it's just, I don't have the words. Life is too short. It's the truth. I mean, hug your loved ones because you never know, right? You walk out of the house, there's no guarantee you're coming home. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter, right? We're usually not affected by that very much. And then it comes crashing down and hits you hard when something like this happens in your realm, Yeah, I don't know why I'm so affected by it, but I am. And I guess as a parent, I mean, that's your worst nightmare. And to have it happen to both your boys at one time, I can't even imagine. Matt Greer says every action has a reaction, like the butterfly effect. In case in point, this tragedy hit us and outward. Well, I'm not sure if you're using the butterfly effect properly, but I mean, every action has a reaction, yes. And I hope the reaction to this fucking guy is he doesn't see the light of day again. Hey, Joe, had nearly lost a relative due to a drunk driver crashing into a car she was a passenger in. I really hate drunk drivers. Yeah, listen, I've done it in my young days. Not proud of it. Knock wood. I'm not going to say thank God, because we know there's nobody up there. That, just knock wood. Nothing bad happened. But yeah, I wouldn't do it today. I mean, I don't drive anymore, but I wouldn't if I was driving. I don't drink much anyway, but I've never lost anybody to a drunk driver, so I've never been personally affected, but Renegade Man, no, I guess you're right. He says you're affected because it's an emotional connection, both as a parent and as a hockey fan. No, absolutely. I wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't have thought it would affect like my mood and everything all for 2 days now. Partially the way I found out by Matt. Matt texted me about that this had happened, and it was about the Dylan situation, and I hadn't heard, and I went and I read everything, and and we had a meeting and we talked about it, and I guess the way, it was 12:30 at night, I think, when I found out about it. It's that late night, like I said in the poem, that late night call. Did I say that in the poem? I meant to. Yeah, late night call. It's kind of like that. And when you get news like that, even if it's not your own family or whatever, but you get news like that and something that, you're involved in, you're interested, your passion is, it's going to affect you, Joe says one good thing there in Australia, they have random breath tests, which includes drug tests. They only do that here, like in the holiday season. Hey, we got a special guest in there, Hockey Junkie. Hey, Junkie, I wish it was a better, better occasion. He says, hey, Rick, absolutely right. This man deserves the worst in prison. And that goes for anyone who decides to get behind the wheel while intoxicated. What a disgusting thing to do. Rest in peace, Johnny and Matthew. I agree with you 100%. And, a lot of us have done it. Usually when we're younger, I would hope that most of us smart people, when we grow up and we're smart enough to not, to know better, we don't do that anymore. It's just, if you're 18 and over today with all the ads and all that stuff, if you do that, I mean, it's on you. And I think that's why, partially why they're charging with vehicular homicide and not manslaughter, is because he knew what he was doing. And he admitted he was drinking while he was driving. That's not manslaughter, that's homicide. Even though you didn't mean to kill those two kids or anybody necessarily, but you knew you could have. The possibility was there. So I think that's why. So I hope that ups the time he spends in jail. Joe, yeah, that's what they do here in the holiday season, but that's it. Only holiday season. They don't do that very often here. They should do it more. It's sad that he's not going to jail for a long time. He will. I mean, listen, 20 years is a long time. It's not long enough. Craig McTavish was in jail for 1 year. Yeah, I remember all that. I don't remember the details of that situation, though. But yeah, I mean, it's at least now it's longer. And I think with McTavish, it was manslaughter and not homicide. This is a different charge. Hey, Daniel, problem with that New Jersey, it's only 10 years. Yeah, I know, but he gets 2 consecutive counts. That'll give him 20. And it's, it's 10. Yeah, 5 to 10 from what I read. He was in his 40s, 43. What a piece of shit. No, you could, don't worry, you can swear here. I don't care, especially on a night like this. And especially talking about this guy, he doesn't deserve anything nice. I mean, and then to have the nerve, I guess he didn't realize that it's on camera and it's going to go out everywhere. To be like, oh, I got to stay till Thursday? Yeah, and you're going to stay a lot more Thursdays too. Junkie also says, I can't even begin to imagine what the Goodrow family is going through. That's a lot of heartache all at once. You can't imagine that. Because, whatever you can imagine they're going through, it's 10 times worse, if not more than that. And that's just the truth of the matter, It's horrible. I saw a video of him there. He was upset that he wasn't going to get out right away. But that attitude and all that, they see that. The judge sees that. That's going to go against him. As his, because your attitude and remorse and all that is very important in sentencing. So it's all going to work against him. He's going to get the maximum, whatever that is, and it should only be longer. Renegade Man, I agree with that. But that's, like I said, that'll work against him. And Renegade Man says that guy was only worried about himself. I don't think he felt sorry based on his face and reaction. No, that's what I got from it all as well. But that'll, like I said, it'll work against him, and the sentencing will be the full amount. And then you also got to think that a guy like that, probably not getting out on good behavior unless his attitude changes. Joe, there's a lot of what do you call that? Prison justice. They don't like. There's a lot of kind of things they don't like. I don't know if that's true with drunk drivers. I would imagine, though, a lot of people in jail are sports fans, and you might get a lot of hockey. You might get hockey fans in there, and aren't going to like this guy either. So I hope he's made somebody's bitch on day one and suffers. Geez, we're still on. I'm glad YouTube's not throwing us off. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say what I said. Daniel, that kind of comment that you just made there, that's not going to ingratiate yourself here. This is not a political bullshit thing to do. So if you don't like Kamala Harris, that's your problem. That's really your problem. And I feel sorry for you. But you say something like that again in here, and I'll remember it for next time too. You say something like that in here, you're going to get tossed from this channel. And that goes for anybody. You want to come up here and give me Trump bullshit and Polly, you're going to get tossed. You want to ruin the world? You want to fuck up everything? That's your business, not here. A new law in BC recently passed is if anyone is pulled over, the driver has to take or submit to a breathalyzer. I mean, pulled over for any reason? Yeah, I don't know if that is necessary, but I mean, listen, if you got nothing to hide, what's the difference, right? It just seems that's a little bit, I don't know, that's a little bit gatekeeperish. Can't be in a closed space for too long. Imagine being there for 20 years. Yeah, no, I'm like that. So, yeah, I don't want to even think about it. If you're not a Trump fan, why would you say what you said? Not if the judge loves Kamala. What does that mean? Is going to get away with murder because she's soft on crime? Are you kidding me? Gotta think. It's called critical thinking. You should use that. It's just like the first day I heard about the rest in peace Johnny Gaudreau. I thought it was a comment about Gaudreau's career in Columbus, but it was worse than that. It sucks for the Gaudreau family. Yes, it does. Obviously, yeah. Yeah, no, listen, I knew about it the night before. It wasn't confirmed though, right? So I went to bed hoping for the best, but figuring by the time I went to bed, if it couldn't be confirmed that he was fine by that point, 3-4 hours after it had been basically it had come out that this might have happened, then I knew something was not good. And I woke up and yeah. Wasn't Harris a former prosecutor? She sure as hell was, and a district attorney. And yeah. Hey, Lucas. Sorry, I haven't been around in a while. Started work. Oh, no worries. Super hard, but super fulfilling. Awesome. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of us that are anxious for the season, although maybe slightly less now. Hey, Junkie, thanks for being here, though. Appreciate it, man. We will be in touch through the upcoming season. We'll have you back on the pod if you're up for that. Look, I couldn't do much today. I was trying to do work today, and I couldn't concentrate. I wrote this poem. If you guys want, I'll read it again. But I wrote this short. I wanted it to be longer, but that's all I could concentrate on. All right, yeah. Let's move on to that. Let's move. Oh, just give me a sec, because we can't move on with this background. And rest in peace, Johnny and Matthew. And we're going to change the background. And we're going to move on to the show. Not fun to do, not easy. I don't like, I didn't want to do this show tonight. I really didn't. All right. What do I have? I have some other stuff that I wanted to talk about. And I'm blanking. Hang on. Give me a second, people. I'm sorry. It's crazy. It's a weird day. Get back to your comments, though. Why drive drunk? Because he's an asshole. And yeah, I mean, there's no answer to that. He has no answer. He can't defend that. All right, Renegade Man asks, do you think Beck would make the club next year? What do you mean by next year? Because everybody, at this point, it's hard. You mean the season that's coming up right now or the year after? If you mean this season coming up, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. Not at a camp. I don't think, but hard to say for Beck. What do I think about Zadina as far as a winger for this team? I don't see him. I don't see that happening. Renegade Man year after. Well, year after is different, right? Yeah, I mean, I think there's a possibility year after he's either a center or a winger on this team. Still hard to tell for sure, but if you're looking at a timeline for him, I would think, yeah, next season, not this one. Who is Jean Lapierre? I don't know. All right, we got other news, I guess, to talk about. Not a lot. Seth Jarvis was extended by Carolina. If you hadn't seen that, just NHL news. 8 years, $63.2 million. There's $30 million of that is signing bonuses, and that includes one deferred year is deferred to a 9th year, which I've never seen that before. It's probably happened, but I've never realized that it has. So that affects his AAV. So instead of a $7.9 million AAV for that amount, it's 7.5. So, saves him 400,000 on the cap. So it's 8 times 7.9, essentially, $63.2 million. So Seth Jarvis, I think it's a good contract for Jarvis and for the team, actually. He's going to be a good player, 80 to 100 point kind of guy. Let's see. I had a couple of things, and then we'll get to. I do have something. This is something that I do want to talk about. All right. So I don't know what video I got this comment from, but I think it was from either the last points prediction for the players video or the lineup video I did. I think it's the points prediction one. Now, I'll preface it by saying David Savard has been a member of the Habs for 3 years now? Raphael Harvey-Pinard has been a member of the Habs for 3 years now, the organization, right? I've been saying those names for a long time. David Savard, Raphael Harvey-Pinard. That's how I say them. I get this comment. Says, hi, brother. Been a long time subscriber, and I really dig your videos. Whoop-de-doo. And this guy maybe not so bad, but just giving you a positive feedback on how that's like saying, hey, I'm going to probably piss you off, but I'll preface it by saying it's just positive feedback on how to pronounce French names. The D at the end of Savard is mute, so it's pronounced Savard. Same for Harvey Pinard. So I answered him back. I've been pronouncing it that way my whole life. And you may have noticed my French accent isn't great. So I'll continue to pronounce them the way I always have. Thank you. So now some other bozo, and I'm going to, being nice, just saying bozo, because I'd like to say worse, says, you may want to reconsider that. So I answer him, why the fuck would I reconsider that? He doesn't answer me back. The other guy doesn't answer me back, but somebody else does. Because you're mispronouncing their names. It's not immensely respectful to knowingly mispronounce a name once you've been told the correct way. This lack of professionalism might cost you playing in the big leagues. He also goes on to say, also, your own rules ask us to stay respectful in the comments. But your last response is so rude and immature. But correcting me like that's not? I'm not going to read the rest of that. I'm going to read you what I wrote him back. And then we'll be done with this. But I had to expose these guys. Sorry. I wrote back, I do not ever bow to a separatist who is so arrogant as to point out such a small thing as that. That's off the charts, rude as fuck. If French people do not like the way I pronounce French words, that's their fucking problem. 48 years now, I've been putting up with that kind of bullshit from separatists. And quite frankly, I didn't put the quite frankly, they can go fuck themselves for all I care. I have an English channel. I don't speak French here, and I do not have to for anyone ever. If you think that's radical, you're right. I've been radicalized by 48 years of the bullshit that is still going on here in Quebec. If you don't like this answer, that's not my problem. How snobbish do you have to be to tell me such a stupid thing as how I pronounce David Savard or Harvey Pinard? Get a life. Now, as you can see, it's an emotional thing for me. Yeah, this was before everything, by the way, with the accident. I don't know. Did I handle that wrong? I don't know. Do I care if they take their subs, whatever they take that away? You think I care? And do you think I care if every French person who can't tolerate me saying Savard or Harvey Pinard takes their subscription away from me and never watches me again? I don't care. So for everybody else that's still out there that is French and has an opinion on this, I would keep that to yourself. If you don't like what I do here and how I speak French or say a French name, go watch someone else. Rant over. Okay, where was I? Matt Greer, yeah, I mean, I'm not even gonna go there with Columbus with cap space and all that. I watched the hockey guys video on that. I think he did it yesterday. I watched it today, and like he said, he was going to do a preview, Columbus preview soon, and that he does every year for all the teams, and he's going to hang on to that for a little while and wait. And yeah, so I mean, I don't know what else to say to that. If Swayman gets paid $10 million, imagine the rest of the goaltenders would think and want. I don't think he'll get $10 million. I honestly don't. That's the shot over the bow for the negotiations, I guess, So we'll see what happens. But you pay him $10 million, you're making a mistake, if you ask me. He hasn't been the number one goalie ever. So this is his first shot at being the number one. No. I think they have 8.6 or something in cap space. That's what he's probably going to get, 8.5 in that area. That makes sense to me. No more than that for me. Jean-Pierre was a local Quebec politician who ended his career as a political analyst. He was known to have contacts in all parties. Good for him. I don't understand. I don't get how this reminds you of that. I don't. Sorry. Oilers could go after Savard and are in the running for him. But do they say his name right? I don't know about that. Hey, Nathan. Gislain, that would all be good if I was French. I want to hear you pronounce my name properly, the way I pronounce it. When you can do that and all the other French people can do that, then maybe I'll consider what you're put up there. Until then, no. Why aren't you asked to do that? I'm asked to do it? Why, I have a French channel or something? Don't think so. Robert says he's a season ticket holder for Montreal and he's English, as you have every goddamn right to be. Gislain, you know what? I grew up watching the Montreal Canadiens in the 70s, 80s, and on TV, the name Serge Savard was pronounced exactly how I just said it, and I never heard one fucking person say that they're pronouncing it wrong. So, to anybody who thinks I should do that. And let's leave that now. Making me mad. Of course I'm going to do me. It's my channel. You're goddamn right. And that's, yeah. Just to me, it's what arrogance to send me that. Like, what arrogance to send me that load of bullshit. Everybody has an opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. Aiken says Swayman around 8.8 times 8. Yeah, something, I maybe 8.5. But that's where I think it's going to come in. Jason, Columbus doesn't know what they're going to be doing. That team's in a shambles for this season coming. You got to figure they're going to finish on the bottom. Or they rally around it and surprise the hell out of us. I don't know. But considering it's 2 days, I don't think they're going to go around 2 days after offer sheeting players. I really don't. Daniel, I mean, listen, Bobrovsky gets 10. Carey Price got 10.5, or still getting it. Only 2 goalies in the league getting that kind of money. So, no, he's not worth 10. Not right now, not without a couple of seasons as the starter to make sure, you want to invest like that in him. Could Swayman be another Matt Murray? I have no reason to think that. Swayman, 7 per year, 5 years with preference, bonuses in goals against, extra. How much million? Extra 10 million? My eyes aren't working right. Extra million? Is that, it's like a million you put there. Under 2, 750,000. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to get into that kind of detail, I guess. His mom lost his husband and 6 sons and daughter in the plane crash. We're still talking about that guy? Oh, no, okay, I get it. I could see someone offer sheet Nick Robertson. I guess. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with him, what the Leafs want to do with him or not. I don't like offer sheets, so. Thank you, Daniel. Hey there, MTG. And then, no, it's not Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's too early, but I agree with Columbus going on an offer sheet frenzy or dump the picks on trades. Yeah, it's too early to talk about that. Give them some time. And they don't have much. I mean, it's not going to be a good season for Columbus, obviously. We need to bring Demidov over now. He can play on the first 2 lines. Any contract can be broken if both parties agree. But Demidov doesn't want to come over now. And Demidov has to he has to obviously agree with that. And he doesn't. He's already been asked, and he doesn't feel he's ready yet for Montreal. He will be next year. He's not ready yet. He wants to finish his commitment for the contract he signed. And right now, he's made the team. He's made SKA. He's impressed them, and I think he's going to have a really good season. And I'm absolutely fine with it. His development will be fine over there, and he'll be here next year, not this one. It's just not. I get it. I do get it. Columbus will get the number 1 pick. No, and we know that doesn't guarantee it, but will they fix it for that? Maybe. I don't know. MTG, I don't know how you would do that. He says, I'm a little surprised the league doesn't have insurance in the form of a draft pick or something for teams that have star players pass away tragically. I mean, how? I don't know how you would do that. And just as it's not their fault that the player passed away and they're in that position, it's not the other team's fault in the league that it happened either. Again, yeah, we talked about it earlier, so I did mention that. Couldn't the Swayman issue cause problems with the Bruins' morale? Maybe the start of Bruins slipping? It's a good question. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to ask the opinion of Cam or Vogel on that, but I guess it's a possibility, but I don't think so. I think players are used to these kind of things happening. I think they're very confident that he'll be signed for training camp and there won't be an issue. So I don't think. I think their morale probably for the Bruins is a little up. With the signings they made, I think the team's probably a little bit better than it was last year. So I think their morale's probably up. Demidov needs another year. You're saying after this one? No, he doesn't. I don't think. He's going to get one in the KHL this year, and he'll be here in Montreal the following year. I'm looking forward to it. What's rushing the process, though, Aiken? He is his contract is up after this season. So why does he have to develop there? Even if he's not ready for Montreal, send him to the AHL. What's wrong with that? I don't see why he has to stay in Russia. Daniel, the shirts are available. If you're interested, just send me if you want to buy one. There's two. That's the one I'm wearing now. There's another design as well. If you are interested, send me an email at talkinghabs@gmx.com. Email is in the description, and I will tell you how to do that. You got to be in Canada, and we do this by Interac. For now, it's going to change, but for now, that's how we're doing it. Although I kind of feel bad doing that on this show tonight. Rick, I think Patrick Roy is the only French player I use an accent on. And Guy, I guess. I don't get what you mean by that. Honestly, I don't get what you mean. What's the hurry for Demidov? Because Michkov is coming next year. I don't care what the Flyers do, and Demidov is better off in Russia for 1 year. I just don't know what you're not hearing. Did I say that he has to get here? We need him. He has. I didn't say anything of that. His contract is up in Russia, right? He could come to Canada, play for Laval if he needs to develop more, like other Russians have done. I don't see the problem there. How is that rushing him? I jumped it again. Why would Demidov absolutely need a quarter of a season in the AHL? I mean, he may. I'm not saying he won't, but I don't see why he has to have that. I mean, he's not a demigod. He's a Demidov. I think the Rangers get a compensatory pick when Alexei Cherepanov when okay, but it's a different situation as he was a prospect. Well, there you go. It's a different situation. It's not to say they won't get one, but I don't know that it's automatic. Am I replying to someone else? I don't know, Aiken, am I? We said he'll stay in SKA and develop. He won't. He'll stay there for this season and he'll be coming to Canada next year. I don't think that's in doubt at all. If that's not what you meant, then maybe I'm talking to someone else. Okay, then I am talking to someone else because that's, yeah, exactly. I don't know anymore about that with the SKA wanting to keep him longer. I think it's clear that he wants to come to the NHL. There's no doubt in, like he said it. He'll be here next year. He's coming here. So whether they want to or not, I don't know. But they're not going to be able to. Yeah, he can. This season, no. This season, he's not coming. I mean, you're right. A lot of people want him here, but he's not coming here. He doesn't want to be here this year. Whether that sounds right or wrong, I heard him say it. Although it was translated. So he might have said something else and the translator lied. I don't know. Demidov still has 1 year left with the SKA. Yes, he does. That's what I'm saying. And he'll develop. Yes, he'll develop. This year and with SKA, he'll develop. Hey, Mike. Maybe April. I don't know how it works there, but yeah, there's a possibility. A couple of games, maybe in April, we'll see Demidov here in Montreal. I don't not use French pronunciation. My French accent isn't great, so I say it the way I say it. That's all. Can I pronounce French soccer player name Kylian Mbappe? Joseph, I lost you there. You wondered the same thing. Did the translator lie? What does that mean? I'm not sure what you're saying. Hopefully, he will race on the first lines. There, but SKA head coach Roman Rottenberg seems to like him, but he's a weird guy. He treated Michkov badly. Yeah, I think he's got an agreement though with Montreal. They've all spoken. I think he'll do fine with SKA this year. I said it pretty good. Perfect pronunciation. So you making fun of me or not? I don't know. I think I've heard the name before though. But also I know that's an African name, I believe. So yeah, I kind of it's an educated guess on how it would be pronounced. Hey Phil, I'm almost there. You might want to rewatch. I don't know if you saw the opening, but if you watch the opening, Phil, after this is over, yeah, I let off with a short poem that I wrote for Johnny and Matthew. You might want to hear that. I don't know that I want to read it again. I know you loves poetry. I don't know that I want to read it again. I don't know. Did a lot of people? Okay, I'm going to read it again because Phil's my poetry guy. Okay, so this is, if you weren't here at the very beginning of the show, which there was only like 8 people. I wrote this because of the tragic events that just happened. Okay, I'm going to read it again. Excuse me. Tragedy strikes like a hornet or a bee. One moment you're here, gone in the next, suddenly. A late night call, how that can make you feel. 2 loved ones gone because of a drunk behind the wheel. 2 young men lost as tragedy strikes. How can it not be safe to be out riding their bikes? 2 young lives lost. It makes no sense. And the pain for their families so goddamn immense. How to come to terms with the way you feel. Throw the goddamn book at the drunk behind the wheel. I know how to handle it. I'll say that again. I know how I'd handle it if it were up to me. I'd let him rot in jail and I'd throw away the key. Just 3 verses, but I had to read that for Phil. Okay, where was I? Kylian Mbappe, father is Cameroonese. His mother is Algerian, but he was born in France. Okay. Does anyone else get the feeling we're on a countdown to when Fowler joins the team? Not really. Not yet. Not yet. I don't think that yet, but it's coming. I think once he leaves college, then the countdown's on. I don't know if it is yet because we don't know. He might decide to leave after this season or stay longer. We don't know. Nathan, I agree with that. And not just because of I was never a soccer person, but now with the way that they just dive, and then when questioned about it, they go, "Well, it's just in our culture." Like, no, no, forget it, forget it. Not gonna, not gonna accept that as an answer. Hey, Zachary, yeah, amen to that. Don't forget his brother, Matthew. Might not have been the hockey player that Johnny was, but was, from everything I've read, was a good man. Was a high school hockey coach. Had a kid on the way. Yeah, don't forget Matthew. Oh, we're at an hour. All right. When this is done, we'll go. So if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, that I can help out with, the whatever, anything you want to say, now's the time. One of the reasons I hate the Ottawa Senators as much as I do, just one of there's a couple of them, but I think the biggest one is that guy, Tim Stutzla. Hate him, hate him, hate him. Not sure what you're saying there, Phil. Too young. We all need our chances too. That it? He's gotten a bit better. Not that I saw. Okay. But saying he's gotten a bit better, that doesn't mean much. He's pretty bad. You have to say he's gotten a lot better than maybe, but a bit better, not going to change for me. Sens have another diver in what? Cousins, eh? They signed Cousins. So another player, I know he played here. He's turned out to be a real piece of shit and a rat. And I don't like Nick Cousins at all. And yeah, he's a perfect Sen. Nice. Well, sticks out for them. I got my, I don't know if you see it over there. 2 sticks, 1 for each guy. Sticks out for Johnny and Matthew. And they're out because they were kind of hidden more. So they're out. So, and there's pointed out. I don't know exactly. I see a lot of people means put it outside. I can't. I'm in an apartment building. So sticks out though for the 2 boys. Nice, Nathan. That's really nice. That's really nice. Respect. Respect is always good to show, and they deserved it. I didn't know them, obviously. Johnny Hockey, I wasn't a particular fan. Not that I wasn't a fan, but it's such a tragedy, and it kicks you right in the nuts. I don't know how that's how I feel like I was kicked in the nuts, basically. Doesn't compare to what their family feels, and their friends. He must have been a good guy, though. So many people saying so many nice things. Like, I doubt and I'm not saying it should be, but I doubt if this was Tony D'Angelo, I doubt we'd hear this outpouring of love for this kid, right? And that's what we're getting. So he must have been a really good guy. All right. Well, we're on our last few minutes. I'm trying to think. As far as for the summer schedule, talking Habs and Hab normals. So we're done. We're on the 24-25 season. So you'll be seeing the Hab normals pod every week now. Back again. I don't know much other than that's going to make a change right now, but training camp's coming up soon, and the first preseason game is on the 23rd. I may not be able to do that game because of other scheduling conflicts with 2 other shows that we were running on the same night. So, yeah, I'm not sure, but I believe the second preseason game is either 2 nights later or the next night. I think 2 nights later. That one I'll be doing for sure. So basically, games are coming up again soon. What else is? I mean, I'm always looking for a good video to do. I don't do the boring ones anymore. I hope they're not boring anymore. I try to pick good topics, and there's fewer of them, but they perform better, so it's more worth my time as well. Yeah, just basically the season's coming up, so we're gonna be back to be doing games, 3-4 games a week, basically. And I'll try, and we're doing a lot of shorts now. Both channels, we're doing shorts. Not just me now. Cam and Alex have been doing a couple of shorts also. So there's a lot of promotional material out there on TikTok, and we're just doing a lot more. So finally have a crew. I've got a crew with me finally of a bunch of us, and we're trying to grow that, and we're going to be trying to grow these channels, and hopefully doing a lot of good stuff over this season for you guys. So, yeah. Other than that, I don't know what else to say. This is the last show, though, on this Streamyard because we just changed over to a better version of Streamyard. The boys are paying for it in the States, and it's run out of the States now. Basically, this is all going to be run out of our headquarters will be in the States now, basically. But so this is the last. I'm switching back to the free account. So I don't know if that means anything to anybody, but for me, it's a big thing because I've been doing this for a few years on this, and yeah. But we have the new StreamYards all set up, so there won't be any missed shows or anything like that. Let's see, what did I miss here? Yeah, it's just I actually had the post that Cole Caulfield put up. I put that up earlier in the show. You're welcome, Nathan. Thanks for being here. I appreciate that a lot. He was a great player. Listen, there's no doubt Johnny Gaudreau was a great player. Cut down too young. Is it is it the first day of spring over there? It's the first day of spring in Australia. It is what do we got? 20 days left of summer here. Gislain, yeah, I signed a petition to have Calgary retire his sweater. I didn't see one for Columbus. Oh, that's true, Joe. It's the first. It's already a day ahead. It's in Australia. Joe from the future. Yeah, I like that. It's true. They retired Howie Moran's. Listen, there's a few guys that have been retired here in Montreal after they died posthumously. Appreciate your efforts, says Nathan. Thank you. Best of everything. Stop in stop in anytime. You know that. Everyone's welcome all the time. Don't worry about it. Hey, Sean. I think they won 30 games last year. I think I'm calling for them to get 40 to 42. So maybe it's 38. I'm not sure, but it's a decent number of games more, especially since the addition of Line A. I mean, so yeah, I figured they're gonna get about 40 wins. 1st of September is also Waddle Day. Oh, Waddle is your national flower. Did not know that. Happy Waddle Day. Gislain, but George Vezina, no, maybe that was around the same time. But Vezina was earlier, wasn't he? That's probably why. But if not, I don't know. Honestly, couldn't. Listen, Toe Blake's number's not retired. Lemaire should be retired. There's a lot of numbers that could be retired. If they retire them all, then we won't have a player under number 20. Well, I think I'm going to take off now. It's too bad it wasn't a happier occasion. But yeah, listen, there were words. It's hard to come by the right words to say. All right, so I'm going to take off. Thanks everybody for being here. I really do appreciate it. I will be back. When am I back? It's Sunday tomorrow. Tuesday, I guess. I'm not sure if I'm on Tuesday. I do that show every second week. Off the top of my head, I can't tell you if I was on last Tuesday or not. So if I wasn't, then I'll be on Tuesday. But we'll be doing Pucking Around on Monday and Have Normals on Wednesday. So you'll see that Tuesday and Thursday. And I don't know. You'll see me out there. Hey, Justin, everything's great. Sorry, but I'm on my way out. You're a little late. Hey, Guru, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. I'm going to text you tomorrow, I believe, later in the day, not early, about the. Anyway, I'll text you tomorrow. And that's it. I'm going to just take off instead of babbling here. Thanks everybody for being here on a very sad occasion. Rest in peace, Johnny and Matthew, and rotten fucking hell for Sean, whatever his goddamn last name is, doesn't deserve it. And that's it. Thanks everybody for being here. Stay safe till next time. Peace out, and I'll see you soon. Ciao, everybody. Have a good rest of the evening.